Now we're ready to wind up the week, and we hope that you're also ready to wind up this week with us. Welcome to the Daily Brief right here at K24 TV. My name is Samuel Njoroge, and we shall be looking at the stories that we are giving priority to as of now in our news diary. Of course, Top Cohen is on top of our agenda. We'll also be telling you what you can expect from KISUMU County later today, courtesy of Senate Mashinani. We will also be telling you what will be happening with the Departmental Committee on Lands. They continue vetting members to the National Lands Commission. Hashtag K24 Daily Brief at K24 TV and at Sam W. Njoroge. That is the platform you can use online to reach out to us. You can also choose to use 21222. Begin with your comment and suggestion, and we shall absolutely appreciate it and sample some during and at the tail end of this show. Now, top on our news diary is that a will allegedly prepared by murdered Dutch tycoon, that is Top Cohen, will be opened this morning in Nairobi. Family members of the deceased have been invited for the session, and remember, this story for the better part of this week has developed to its own end, and his widow Sarah Wairimo has however challenged the authenticity of the document and says she will not attend the event. Through her lawyer Philip Murgo, Sarah claims that contents of the document have been severely compromised, with part of the content having been published in a local daily. And remember, he is supposed to be buried on Monday at the Jewish cemetery. Now, moving on, vetting of nominees to the National Lands Commission continues today at the National Assembly. 3 nominees are set to appear this morning before Parliament's Departmental Committee on Lands, and they are Hussein Habi Al-Haji, Alista Moremi Mutugi, and former MP Tia Galgalo. After today's session, the committee will retreat to Mombasa to write its report. Now, elsewhere, now, the second edition of the Senate county sittings come to an end in Kitui County today. Senators have been holding plenary and committee sittings within the county, and since Monday. Curiously, all 3 governors from Ukambani region snubbed the Senate's County Public Accounts and Investments Committee, which had hoped to quiz them on audit or queries. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta is today expected to address a summit on global trends in business, finance, and geopolitics being held in Singapore. The president is attending the summit at the invitation of Prime Minister to attend the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Now, millions of people around the globe are this morning joining young people in the streets for the biggest global climate change strike yet. The climate strike is timed to speak to UN Secretary General's Climate Action Summit in New York on the 23rd of September. And the aim of this event is to demand that world leaders gather for a UN Climate Action Summit, adopt urgent measures to stop an environmental catastrophe. In Nairobi, the event is taking place at Uhuru Park's Freedom Corner. So those are the priority stories in as far as our news diary is concerned. But you know the drill. During the first hour of the Daily Brief, we just cross over to the regions and get a feel of how the news diary looks like from the 47 regions in the country. Would like to begin with KISUMU County. And here is our reporter Baraka Karama, who joins us live from that region with an update on what we can expect from the news diary in KISUMU County. Baraka?
Samuel, what we expect today in KISUMU, and of course what we are following up, the National Assembly, the Parliamentary Committee on Education is expected to tour Kibosa Special School on a fact-finding mission. Remember that particular school has always been having various problems. Of course, it has been in a dilapidated state, and because of that, the members of Parliament, due to an outcry by a cross-section of parents who of course raised concern about the condition of the school. Today the members of Parliament, the Education Committee, is expected to tour that particular institution on a fact-finding mission. Remember that particular school is just directly opposite Kibos Sugar Factory that of course we've seen quite a number of issues. Remember the National Environmental Management Authority did raised concern about the flow of the river, the effluent that of course was coming from the Kibos Sugar Factory directly to River Kibos. So among other issues, we expect the members of Parliament maybe to address the concerns that were raised by the parents of that particular institution, maybe just to try and come up with a proper solution into the allegations that of course were raised by some of the stakeholders and of course the parents of that particular institution. So that is one of the major stories that of course we'll be looking into, and of course we'll be able to give you an up-to-date information as far as the members of Parliament make their way into that particular institution at around midday. Another story that of course we are following up, we understand that the Kenya National Union of Nurses officials are supposed to address a press conference, maybe to try and give us an update in regards to the ongoing health workers strike that of course has seen operations and services within various medical facilities in this particular county paralyzed. Remember, we are talking about 4,000 workers, health workers, who have down their tools for 2 weeks now, and of course that has seen a major problem in the health sector in this particular county. Most of the health services, health institutions within this particular county have been shut down. We are talking about over 329 health facilities spread across the 7 constituencies within this particular county. So of course we'll be getting reactions and comments and maybe an update in regards to that particular issue. Remember yesterday, as when I was giving my brief, we did expect the county governor for KISUMU, Professor Peter Nyang'nyongo, to address this particular issue, considering the fact that he had made that passionate appeal to the health workers to ensure that they go back to work. Remember also yesterday I did mention that 2 days ago we lost 2 kidney patients who were undergoing dialysis at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. Of course the situation is still worse, and we'll be making a follow-up to that effect. One of the other stories that of course we'll be focusing on is, remember, there are new regulations that of course were introduced for the border operators, and KISUMU of course is not an exception as far as the border industry is concerned. Remember, we have over 70,000 border riders spread across the entire county, and of course the new regulations is a very big issue here. Remember, we've seen quite a number of accidents that occur on a daily basis within this particular area, and the traffic department of course did issue a warning to the operators to ensure that they adhere to the safety regulations that of course were introduced by the government. But up to now they have not yet followed the regulations that were put in place by the government. So of course, those are the key stories that we will be looking into, and of course we'll be able to give you an up-to-date information as far as these particular stories are concerned. One among them is the visit by the Education Committee for the National Assembly, who was supposed to visit the Kibos Special School for the Blind. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Baraka Karama, for that update live from Kisumu County. Education and health take priority in as far as the news diary from Kisumu is concerned. And talking about education today, the findings of the monitoring learner progress will be taken to the Kenya National Examinations Council this entire week. Grade 3 pupils have been going through this process, and we saw them do their rehearsals on Monday. On Tuesday, they did their mathematics activity. On Wednesday, they did their English activity section A, which included listening and speaking as well as reading aloud. On Thursday, that is yesterday, they had English activity section B, where they were looking at reading comprehension, language structure and function, as well as guided writing. Today, Friday, it is expected that this exercise will come to a close and the findings will be taken to the Kenya National Examinations Council. Remember, the function behind this exercise has been to assess the rollout of the competency-based curriculum this far. So you can expect a lot in as far as education is concerned in our news diary right here at K24 TV. Now, also moving on to other stories that we are giving priority to is that the Council of Governors has launched its own initiative aimed at reviewing the country's constitutional, dubbed Ugatuzi Initiative, which the county chiefs say is aimed at strengthening devolution and the devolved structures. The proposal, which was made public by the Council of Governors chair, that is Wycliffe Oparanya, seeks to expand the executive by creating possession of the Prime Minister as the head of government, while the President, remains the head of state. It also proposes to have a percentage of cabinet secretaries coming from Parliament. And here is Shukri Wachu with that report.
For the last couple of months, the county chiefs have been at the mercy of both houses of Parliament as the standoff over the division of revenue bill persisted, denying them the much-needed funds before it was assented to by the President this week.
That's when there's the best news.
The frustration by the county chiefs has led to the creation of the Ugatuzi Initiative, which they say will help them protect the devolved units from forces opposed to devolution, this being the third initiative after the Punguza Mizigo and the BBI that seeks to review the country's law.
We would like our proposal to be considered by Kenyans alongside all those other proposals. And for us, our main focus is to bring more resources to our counties.
Among the proposals by the COG is expansion of the executive, which will see the reintroduction of the office of the Prime Minister, who will be the head of government, while the President remains the head of state. The Ugatuzi Initiative also proposes that the cabinet consist of not more than 18 ministers and 22 deputies from among members of Parliament, and at least one-third to be appointed from outside Parliament. Each county must be represented in the government by either a cabinet minister, deputy minister, or a principal secretary. The initiative also proposes a change in the structure of governance, where the Senate will have preeminence over all bills emanating from the National Assembly, including money bills, establishing the Senate as the higher house supervising the National Assembly. Approve appointments to all constitutional offices. The President shall also not assent to any bill unless passed by the Senate. The proposal is also calling for the formation of a Senate Service Commission.
We establish government so that the lives of people can be improved. Let's ask ourselves those questions in receiving these proposals that are coming from Ugatuzi, Punguza Mzigo, and even the BBI.
The details of how even these people will be elected will be made public to you.
Political experts say the Ugatuzi Initiative and proponents of the BBI may be speaking the same language. It will most likely find convergence once the BBI report is made public, and mostly so when it comes to the expansion of the executive. In a bid to improve the democratic space in the country, the COG is also proposing the leader of the party or coalition of parties with the second largest number of seats in the National Assembly becomes the official leader of the opposition. He or she shall have a deputy leader of opposition. The leader of the opposition shall also appoint a shadow cabinet. Will they also draw salaries from the exchequer? Governors also want to be in charge of the county security, with all security agencies in the county level reporting directly to them. A proposal expected to draw a lot of resistance from security stakeholders and the national government, who insist security must remain the sole mandate of the national government. The initiative is also calling for the total independence and security of tenure of the Office of the Attorney General, as well as the formation of a law office and an Attorney General at the county level. The Ugatuzi Initiative now joins the Punguza Mizigo Initiative, led by Third Way Alliance leader NAKURU Court, and the Building Bridges Initiative, which is also seeking to reform the Constitution. Shukriwachu, K24.
Now, Ugatuzi Initiative is the new proposal on the ground on whether or not we should be amending the 2010 Constitution, this coming after the Punguza Mizigo proposal that is currently being debated across counties in the country. Already, results have begun streaming in as far as Punguza Mizigo is concerned. Out of 5 counties, 1 county has adopted the bill, and that is Uasin Gishu, but 4 others have rejected it. That is Homa Bay, Siaya, Murang'a, and Kirinyaga. Yesterday, Third Way Alliance Party had a strategy meeting to discuss what strategies they will use to counter any kind of opposition that they could be experiencing on the ground. But here is Ugatuzi Initiative, and they go way beyond into talking about Chapter 11 of the Constitution that talks about, among other things, devolution. They're also talking about Chapter 9, which is all about the executive. But we'll have a detailed analysis in as far as this issue is concerned as time goes by, as and when we get the report from the BBI and then get to find out whether or not it proposes a referendum or not. However, the situation on the ground, if the country was to go for a referendum today, then it will be so difficult because even IEBC is not properly constituted to do that. But those are issues we can always address on another sitting during another day. Right now, let's cross over to Nakuru and bring in our reporter Kegotho Mwangi, who's joining us live from this region with an update on what we can expect from him today. Kegotho.
Sam Joroge, indeed, a good morning from Nakuru, county number 32. And we're coming to live from one of the production houses that we are invited here to just take a part into looking at the talents that people have. We have talked about CBC education system whereby people are programmed, or rather they are trained to be self-reliant, to showcase their talents and also to develop them. Are we doing exactly that? And for those people who have talents, what are they going through to make sure that they make it in life? That's what we are following up in this studio. We are going to interact with singers, we are going to interact with the producers, we are going to interact with script writers so that they can tell us exactly what to expect. The CBC kind of education is propagating for talents to be incorporated in the education system. What are those people who have talent doing with what they have? Are they going to be incorporated? County governments have promised that upcoming artists are going to be helped by maybe creating a studio or making a studio. Did these promises come to happen? Once in a while, I've heard that during the burial of famous musicians, the local artists ask the government and also the county governments to come up with a program whereby they can be able to nurture talents. Are these talents nurtured? And today is in our Feel Good Friday. We are going to be interacting with these people, and also in the mid-morning hours, I'm going to be interacting with parents and students and also lawmakers in terms of education and the preparedness they have in terms of parenting. We have had an issue in Weseges whereby a teacher was arrested because of harassing a student, or rather being obscene with the student. We also have a student who went viral because of a video that he posted. Are we in the age of parenting, or are we becoming parents so too young to even guide our students? Are we forgetting our roles as parents, society, and even teachers? That is what we have in Nakuru. My camera person is, as usual, John Wangombe. We are in Simba studios, and we are going to be interacting with them in the coming hours. But for now, I take you back to Sam Joroge for more briefing and also the daily brief.
Thank you so much, Kigotho Mwangi, for that update. Again, education, skills, and talent enhancement is still another issue that Kigotho Mwangi will be giving priority to from Nakuru County today. So in the course of our interaction with that region, kindly expect more in this particular, or in as far as this area is concerned. Right now, I would like to take a break, the very first hour of the show today, but we return with much more in just a moment.